So what are we tasting today?
Today we're tasting a very special oolong from Hawaii. Wow.
A traditional oolong tea.
This particular plant is from Hawaii, and it has a unique leaf that is not too big. In fact, it actually looks quite small and delicate to the eye. Well processed, even if a bit uneven. From the aroma, it doesn't have any roasting. So it would seem that this dark brown color comes from the oxidation and not from a process like roasting.
The leaf is moderately thin. The processing, while not extremely precise, doesn't seem terrible either. It's very dark, but it doesn't have the typical roasted aromas, except for something a bit woody and a fruity aroma of summer fruit. Somewhere between apricot and melon. Let's say it's a combination, a bit unusual for an oolong, summer fruit and woodiness, but I'm curious to try it. A rather unique tea. I wouldn't have expected it to be like this. My good friend Chris, who was kind enough to give me this particular tea, which, as a side note, actually comes all the way from the beautiful islands of Hawaii, originally told me that the flavor profile was remarkably similar to shumai. After tasting it myself, I realized he's actually not wrong at all because it possesses a distinctively sweet side, a very sweet and pleasant one that lingers on the palate. Even though it is not honeyed but rather more like a ripe summer fruit, it also has a very faint floral note, and then a distinct woody or spicy undertone, which it's actually quite dominant as well. I can sense some dry wood, but there's also a slight damp note that's hard to pinpoint. As for fruit, at first I would have said melon, but now maybe it's more like dried apricot. Anyway, it's definitely interesting. It has its own complexity in terms of the number of nuances, but the notes themselves aren't actually that easy to pick out.
If I didn't know a single thing about this tea, I would honestly think it's a yellow tea. Because it has some distinctive and highly characteristic notes with a noticeable element of spice and warmth that comes out especially towards the end and then lingers in the aftertaste. But at the same time, at first, it's considerably more crisp and refreshing. And there's a subtle floral note that occasionally emerges, even though it's actually quite challenging and difficult to pinpoint exactly.
So, how would you describe this tea? All things considered.
It is a tea that has character. It's a tea that has a character that is never elusive.
Yes, that's true. Please don't forget to click like and, of course, to follow me. I'll see you in the next episodes.